Hey everyone, Sean Murphy here with part 4 of this video series. In earlier videos, we looked at the hardware, seen behind me, and pricing economic models between EESystem and TLS. EESystem, TLS. We also looked at the disclosure claims by Jason Shurka and this mysterious, unidentified Ray character, the legal sanctions against Jason Shurka, and the ecclesiastical unified contract by Reverend Jason Shurka. Today, in this research-focused follow-up, I want to examine one of the central scientific claims made by both the energy enhancement system and the light system. The claims originate from this central tenet of energetic medicine. We are electrical beings, fundamentally electrical beings, not just chemical beings. Our cells communicate through bioelectric signals, and healthy cells maintain an optimal electrical potential, or millivoltage. This primary research topic, promoted by both systems, focuses on measuring increases in cellular electrical energy, or conductivity. In a study by Dr. Glen Rein involving 25 participants, EESystem produced an average of 92% improvement in cellular electrical energy metrics after 24 hours of exposure over 3 days. And one of these participants had a 300% increase according to Dr. Rein's study. Dr. Rein later tested the light system and reported an 80% increase in cellular electrical conductivity in just 1 hour, and also said TLS was, quote, the strongest he'd ever measured. Dr. Glen, real quick, I'm wondering if you forgot about the 300% increase with EESystem when you said that TLS at 80% was the strongest you'd ever measured. When I heard that, I started to have some questions. And people watching this need to know that you, Dr. Rein, now serve as the lead research scientist for TLS. And that's odd to me, because what this looks like is you switch sides. You went over to TLS and were hired by TLS. So I have some direct questions for both Jason Shurka and you, Dr. Rein. Jason and Dr. Rein, specifically, I'm talking to you, Dr. Rein, on this one. Did you test the light system on yourself? And were you the only participant, the one of one, and report an 80% increase in cellular electrical conductivity in 1 hour? If not you, who did you perform the single person test on? And isn't it true that study used the TLS chair as the TLS test product, where the TLS chair includes 2 PMF coils? And for everyone watching this, PMF coils have an aspect and a part of electrical activity and frequency. They're an important piece to all this. So why was the presence of those coils not disclosed when the results were presented as coming solely from the TLS chair? And Dr. Rein, as an experienced scientist, what are the ethical implications of not disclosing all device components when attributing the results entirely to TLS? And Jason, Dr. Rein previously did a 25-person study on the EESystem. What led him to suddenly become the lead research scientist for the light system? So Dr. Rein, how do you reconcile the huge difference in scale, speed, and the results between your 25-person EESystem study and your single-person TLS test? And Jason, is there any financial or employment relationship between Dr. Rein and TLS that could create a conflict of interest with these findings? And Jason, how much compensation or payment, if any, did TLS or you personally provide Dr. Rein for conducting and publishing this single-person study used almost entirely to validate the TLS product? Dr. Rein, was this TLS study a formal clinical trial or primarily a self-experiment? Do you believe the 80% increase is reproducible in larger groups? And Jason, on the TLS website, there are reports listed to validate and support the TLS product, a couple, 3 or 4, including the Aura, BioWell study, GDV, and other research reports. But I don't see anyone named on these studies. There aren't actual researchers or aren't actual participants in these studies. What's going on with that? Why no names on the several research papers and studies on your website? Why do most TLS studies lack the detail and independent verification seen in many of the named studies on the EESystem website? And to you both, why would you say to parents of children like me, parents with children with rare diseases, or veterans like those I visit and work with in palliative end-of-life care, who might rely on this research as part of their due diligence in choosing between the two products? These are clear scientific questions I believe deserve clear, direct answers, especially for families like mine who are researching and looking for real solutions. If this research discussion helped you, and this is to the people watching this, with your own due diligence, please go back and watch parts 1 through 3 if you haven't already. Also, check out for yourself the several studies on the TLS website from the last year or so, and then compare that to the dozens on the EESystem website from the last 2 decades. To me, that was very important. On one website, there's studies from decades of research comparing and looking at the benefits produced by the EESystem, and then there's a couple of studies purporting to produce the same benefits for the light system over the last year, year and a half. Something very odd about that is going on. So everyone else, please drop your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what your experiences and thoughts are. Stay curious, do your own research, and keep advocating for the people you love. Thanks for watching.